Yeah, sure. This is your new semi-permanent home.
Yeah, next couple of years.
Right?
Yeah, really excited.
Yeah.
Here in Northern Virginia, happy.
And I wish people could see the view because it's like all trees.
Well, I mean, we could fix that really fast.
Oh.
Yeah, there's the trees and the creek back there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's just wonderful.
I find, as I was driving here, I was thinking how really lush Northern Virginia is.
Oh my gosh, like a tropical rainforest.
And how appealing it is. Probably not what people would expect.
I know, exactly. So when I moved here, so I lived a bunch of time in Chicago, most of my life in the Chicago area, and then Northern California, which I thought was the most beautiful place ever. And here I was moving to Virginia, and I imagined like, I don't know, blocks of cement. I don't know what I imagined, but I got here and there's rolling hills. And
yeah, well, there are parts of Northern Virginia that are blocks of cement.
Right, but they're not very big compared to all of Northern Virginia.
But I think for the most part, the urban planners here have done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And particularly where we are, either inside the Beltway or just outside the Beltway, it kind of developed organically. You know, people sold off farms, parcels of land, houses were built, but not like big developments.
Yeah.
But when you get further out,
yeah, it's a bunch of developments.
You get a lot of places where the trees have been raised, and
yeah,
it's just
and that
a bunch
was necessary.
Of houses.
And so it's funny because, you know, I grew up in a farmhouse, and across the street they sold off the land.
I think there's a Joni Mitchell song about that.
Yeah, well, they sold off the land for this development.
Built a parking lot.
And we saw it was practically all concrete. I mean, we saw the houses go up, and they were so close together. And I was so judgmental as a kid, you know, because like that was my beautiful space to look at the, you know, look at the hay and the grasses.
Right.
But now I get it. Like, you have to have housing for people.
Yes, you do.
And there are a lot of people, and that's going to change. I mean, we're going to have fewer people. And I wonder what that's going to do to what we expect.
You know, I remember when that first entered my. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, we're on the couch with our pillows. And by the way, special episode.
Yeah, Pandas on the couch.
Pandas on the couch.
Yes. How did you like? I thought I was pretty clever with the bamboo forest.
Yeah, I love that.
Comment to explain the light coming in and out.
Yeah.
If I say so myself, yes, you know. But what was I about to say?
Housing and the decrease in population.
So I remember realizing probably a little more than 20 years ago, reading something and going, oh, this population explosion is just about to end.
Yeah.
We're at the inflection point. And as is usually the case when I become aware of something that I don't think other people are really aware of, I started telling people, you know, this population explosion thing isn't really gonna.
And 20 years ago, no one believed that.
Nobody believed it. I remember meeting people like at conferences, and the like. Let's say it's a couple, and they're very wisely saying to me, "Well, we chosen only to have one child because of the population
and you're like,
explosion." And I'm like going,
maybe.
In 20 years, this is a recipe for disaster. 50% discount from the get-go, right? And I remember telling a guy, a big national security guy, I'm not going to mention his name, mostly because it doesn't matter, but just think of him as a typical member of the national security establishment. And it was probably in the 2008, 2007 period. And I was speaking at a conference, and I don't know what I was talking about. And so I go, well, the big thing that no one's paying attention to is that the population is going to start declining probably mid-century, 2050 or so. I mean, absolute decline.
That's what it looks like.
And he came up to me afterwards. He go, where did you get that data? And I went, I read about it, and I looked at the UN forecasts, and
it's very clear.
And he was like, "Can you send me some of the sources?" Hey, Brooks,
you because
say
hi? Are you recording?
Yeah,
Yes,
but like,
we
what
are.
the hell?
It doesn't really matter.
But yeah, I know. It's like people
Yeah.
don't believe it, but like it's going to change everything. The way we look at housing, the way we look at...
Yeah.
Would you like to meet my husband, audience?
Yeah.
Do you want to come say hi?
Oh.
You have a bolder look now.
Yeah, Balder. He's bolder and balder.
Bolder and bolder. Here we are. Yeah. It looks good.
It's shiny. When the sun hits it, it actually like planes lose a little bit of their problems in the sky.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
am
you're a
purposefully
workout,
not turning around because I don't have a mask on and I don't
yeah.
want to compromise.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, Brooks.
Yes, all right. So anyway, that's just one example of several where something just entered my awareness and I was going, and it's a good example of how hard it is to get people to unattach themselves
From the past.
from ideas that they were told were absolutely true.
Oh man, can we just talk about the slowness of detachment?
Yes,
From these,
absolutely.
because I feel like that I have always I don't know if it's, so some people say, oh, you're prescient because you think about things that are 20 years in the future. And other people say, like, you misunderstand how slowly people change. And so you think that it's important to think about something that's 20 years in the future.
Right.
And even if that is important, it's not important because we're not there yet and no one else changes at that rate.
Right.
And I know that you're a person who's also a futurist as well, in the sense of you're trying to troubleshoot the future and stay the course for the goodness of humanity.
Right.
And so we share that in common. But how can, I mean, besides fear, which is an amazing motivator and has been used, ad nauseum to try to get people to change their ideas, and it works. Can there be other motivators? Like, do we know that fear even works in the long term?
Well, I mean, I would hope that aspiration can work as a motivator and as making someone receptive to change, and it clearly does work for some people. I mean, like, people that are visionary, or a lot of the people that settled the United States or that came to the United States, let's say after the Civil War, there was a huge flood of people who showed up, like the Carnegies and who were,
Rockefellers.
And all those people, and they were aspirational. And I don't think they were motivated by fear.
Were they motivated by greed?
Not at the beginning. They were motivated by survival.
Yeah.
So like the
It's like pioneering.
well, and so I mean it was also driven by technology. So the Carnegies, and I know this example well because I was watching something just yesterday where they were talking about Andrew Carnegie. His father had been a weaver. Made really high quality fabrics and wools, and supported his family that way until it got mechanized. And when it became mechanized, I think within a pretty short period of time, he realized this wasn't going to work anymore, and so he made the decision to come to the New World.
Wow.
So it was a survival motive, and they showed up, and they were poor and struggling. There was nothing wealthy about them at all, and I'm not exactly sure how he got into the steel industry, but he did. And then by the age of 45, he's like, part of the millionaire equivalent now of billionaire class in America.
Yeah. Wow.
So
there's a lot of, so when I think of Rockefellers and Carnegies, I think sort of people see them, and I see them also as their end state, sort of how they have lived on in history and how they're thought of now.
yes,
And so when you tell a story like that, it makes me think of how much we sort of default to understanding people through where they get.
yes, that's a really good point.
Right, rather than the whole thing.
And we sort of don't understand at all. I mean, don't even investigate how they began.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sort of, and then we have a harder time seeing ourselves as, I think this has something to do with I mean, it's interesting. Okay, so I'm starting to think about in this conversation, which is, we never know what we're going to talk about. But in this
unscripted. Every once in a while, I hear about a podcast and they're advertised. They say that they're unscripted, and I'm thinking, is there another kind? But apparently
yes, there is.
There is, where everything is like really scripted out.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing, is that I think now that we're presenting ourselves all the time on social media, we're presenting ourselves. It's very presentational. This is how, and then the sort of conceit is, this is how I always am. I'm always wearing makeup and smiling and speaking flirtily, or I'm always, whatever.
Right, whatever.
Whatever is the thing that you think you're supposed to always be doing in your presentation. And so it's like you're judged by the thing that's on the outside and is most recent.
Yes.
And then we can't see ourselves in each other, because we are internally knowing that we have all these conflicting feelings and it's all weird and there's all sorts of stuff going on, but we don't see that on the outside. So
no, that's right.
It distances us from each other, because we just think, oh, that's not me. And so then then we don't have heroes, we don't have aspirations.
Right.
Because we think that I can't do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what point you're touching,
me neither.
but I know that you're touching a point.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm fine with leaving it, but I
Yes.
just sort of feel like that when you were talking about Carnegie's and I thought of Rockefellers and stuff, I was all thinking about how they're thought of now, and just understanding, oh gosh, they struggled, and that was their situation.
And they made decisions, and probably they made some good ones, and then they made some bad ones. The other thing I was reading about Carnegie was that he was clearly precocious, intellectually minded, and as he's making all this money, he's like reading philosophy and probably theology and history, and really seemingly trying to navigate this journey that he's on, not even knowing where he's going to end up. But it seemed, you don't read things like that unless you're like reflecting or trying to reflect on where you're going, and just like opening yourself up to the possibility that you might need a correction, right?
Yeah, right. Like you don't know everything.
You don't know everything.
Right.
And then, of course, he ended up becoming a great philanthropist.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's all... But he always ended up also having enough money. So, yeah, it's very perplexing. Life is very perplexing.
I would agree with that statement, and maybe that's the statement I was trying
It's
to
become
get
even
to.
more perplexing as I've gotten older. I mean, I find...
Can you tell me about that? I mean, like, in what ways are you more perplexed?
Well, so, like, right now, at this moment, maybe for the past 2 or 3 months, I've been thinking a lot about how society feels different to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't articulate in what way it feels different and what the heck is going on. I'll give you an example. I have a very good friend whom you've met, Ginny Leek. She's been on the Pandas.
That's right.
And she's an economist, and is just very intelligent, super bright, super kind, but can't, she can't help but see the world through this economic filter that's part of her training and experience.
Well,
So,
just like with me in science and you in intelligence.
exactly.
It's the same,
It's like, 1, is this better, 1 or 3? And she'll always go back to the economic one.
Right,
That's the lens through which she sees more clearly, right? So I ended up, I think for my sins in the 1990s, having to work as a kind of a economic editor, an editor of economic analysis, which I was just lost. And so I would learn things from her because this was her real background.
I would have been so lost too, because I really think that frame doesn't work.
Well, yes, and it was very difficult, for me. But anyway, I remember after we had stopped working together, I remember I think shopping for clothes or something, and going to a Macy's or something and looking at the prices and realizing that the prices were lower than they had been the last time I had really shopped for clothes. And, you know, I'm not a clothes horse. And I thought, what's going on? And I thought to myself, what's going on? And then I said, something has happened to inflation, which I don't really understand. So I, of course, tested this idea with Ginny. I go, there's something has changed in how the retail economy is working. People just can't raise prices willy-nilly anymore. And that was certainly the case until COVID. I mean, we had a very long period.
Right.
So that same feeling that I just described of going, what's going on? Why are prices, it's against all laws of nature for prices to be going down. So I feel like something very similar is happening. So this is the first time I've articulated this. I've thought it to myself, but I haven't articulated it to anybody. I feel like there's something going on socially, politically, anthropologically that is significant, but I can't put my finger on it. All I have right now is the itching in the back of my head.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that this thing is related to the clothing price?
No. I'm saying that I have the same kind of
it's
feeling.
the same kind of feeling.
It's the same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can articulate, and then once I articulate this, unless this ignites something in you, this may be the end of the topic, but the only thing I can articulate is I have this sense that societies have become so complex, particularly in the West, so intertwined, so almost impossible to untangle, that no one act or even a series of acts has the same kind of impact that they used to have 30 or 40 years ago. So like, think about our politics, and there's so much stuff that's involved in it. It's the volume of information, it's the complex network of information, it's how everybody can find their tribe, so that you don't really need to care anymore about what interest rates are. It's almost like, as a lame example, it's like the elephant is too big. The elephant being the metaphor for society, and all the people who think that they can lead the elephant to a new place, or change the elephant into something else, or coax the elephant into doing what they think should be done, you can never grab enough of the elephant to really change it. And so that is probably that's the best I can say.
Okay. I would love to try to pick the corners of this, or try to unwrap this present. So the thing.
Well, first, do you think you understand what I said?
I'm going to repeat what I got out of it.
Okay,
good. You're feeling that, whereas in the past there was a way to shift society through actions or for revelations, like for instance, when Nixon, the Watergate era, that had a massive impact. Oh my God,
it had a huge impact.
Yeah, this happened. And
everybody was paying attention to it.
Yeah, right. And now that same kind of thing is sort of meh. In fact,
exactly.
Yeah,
it is meh, and I don't quite understand why it's meh.
Yeah.
Nor do I quite understand how significant it is that it's meh. But I feel like that will be significant.
Well, remember when Donald Trump said that brilliant thing, which I think is accurate, which is, look, if I stood on the
exactly.
on 5th Street and I shot people, people wouldn't care. He was talking about that.
He was talking about that.
That is correct.
He was talking about that.
That is correct. And so he has his finger on the pulse of what's actually true about the culture, despite
despite
what we agree with him.
I don't know if it's true, but he is closer.
Yeah.
to understanding the popular culture, and I don't mean to suggest popular as in
Populist.
populist or that everybody loves this culture, but he just he understands
Yes.
all the little spikes coming out of the culture way better than any other politician that of this
Right.
generation
I mean,
appears to have understood.
Witness his win.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
And so I think that if you understand that, things don't matter like they used to, which is, I think, what I want to call this is things just don't matter like they used to.
I think that's true. But let me see, because I have an itch. But he's trapped in the same problem.
Well, of course,
he can't
because
get.
he also wants to matter.
He can't get outside of this problem.
Right. Well, no one can.
Nobody can. There is no lever.
You can't lead the revolution that says,
Yes.
but I matter.
Yeah.
But nothing else matters but I matter. Because
Yes.
also you don't matter.
There's
Right.
no lever.
There's
I
no
mean,
lever. Yeah.
they can control the levers that they're in control of.
Yeah.
Like, he has an attorney general and
But those aren't the levers that matter.
but those aren't the levers that matter.
Yeah.
So and then you've got
And
this
then-
other stream where you've got the traditional economy that still matters,
yeah.
but then you've got these
Crypto.
other new economies, crypto, AI, all this other
bartering,
stuff that we're not even really sure. We don't really know how that's all going to turn out. It's, for me, it's...
We don't know how the regular traditional economy is going to turn out. I mean, I think, I don't know. So there's a part of me that says this radical thing that just showed up in my head, which I hadn't thought about before either.
Yeah.
But it's this idea that in times of great uncertainty, it's actually adaptive and healthy to just go, okay, nothing actually matters as much as we thought it did.
Exactly.
Because everything's so uncertain and you have to go on.
Right.
So you're just like, all right, you wake up today and you face the circumstances of the day and you're like, what happened? You get very local, you get very insular in your locality. And that's probably healthy to deal with the uncertainty.
Oh, I feel myself navigating the situation in that way.
Yeah.
I sort of say to myself, I'm going to go to London for the month of August, and I'll go to hopefully Oregon in September, and that's as far as I've got planned. Well, and now Japan in November, and I'm just not going to waste my energy fretting about everything else, which just appalls a lot of my friends.
They feel that you should be wasting your energy.
Which is why I don't even tell them this, but except now, well, probably, it's but most of my friends probably
they know.
They don't, whatever. But it's a peculiar time. So I think that society.
But you're not saying, I just want to reiterate this.
Okay.
You're not saying it's a peculiar time, and I think I'm hearing you right, but I'm wanting to clarify for people who are listening. Because of Trump being president or because of X, Y, Z, you're saying like everyone's caught up in this thing where all of a sudden things don't matter like they used to.
Exactly. Everyone's caught up in the same thing.
Okay. And it can be for better or worse.
It can be for better or worse.
I mean, sometimes you're like grateful because you're like, oh, I'm so glad that, some celebrity doesn't matter or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care what some celebrity did. So that I'm like, oh, great. And then some parts are scary. Like, it feels like it should matter, how we treat people.
Yes. Well, hopefully that will always matter, but
it doesn't seem to matter at a large scale. It seems to matter only
yes,
locally.
things don't. Yeah. There's some
meaning doesn't scale like it used to.
Yes. Oh my God, that's perfect. Meaning doesn't scale the way it used to.
Yeah.
And some people realize that, but don't necessarily know how to navigate it. And other people just don't realize it at all and are not continuing to try to navigate the way
it used to be.
It used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because
It makes me feel better because I've had this peculiar feeling. It makes me feel better that you could pick up on it and go, oh, okay, I think this is what you're saying. And that's
real.
right.
It's
Meaning
real.
doesn't scale the way it used to.
Yeah, but that has to do with, I mean, it teaches us what does, I mean, I think it could teach us what makes meaning scale. And I think what makes meaning scale are larger group identities. I think that we have these smaller group identities that have become so molecularized, I want to say.
Yeah.
That, like, oh, that's meaningful to you, that's not meaningful to me, I'm in this other group.
Right.
And that has definitely, I mean, I think it would be really hard to argue that hasn't been driven by social media that helps you find your people who are not the other people.
Yes. Well, I spend way too much time probably on, just watching YouTube creators. And, and there's a huge division in the world right now between people who are aware of the YouTube creator universe and not, YouTube, then there's other networks, right?
Yeah.
Other social platforms, and people who aren't aware of the YouTube creator networks and still, have cable TV and want to watch the evening news every night. And I feel so sorry for those people because it's like they're truly in Plato's cave.
Well, maybe we who are aware of YouTube are also in Plato's cave.
Yes!
We're in a different cave.
We're in a different cave. I agree. It's part of the issue.
Right.
But, golly, what the heck was I going to say? I was going to make a... So I'm way too addicted on these YouTube videos. And there are so many subcultures.
Yeah.
And every, at least once a week, I stumble into a new subculture that opens up a whole new part of the algorithm.
Oh, this is...
Yes. Right? And
yes.
it just goes whoosh.
And now we're presenting to you like...
And now all this stuff, right? So there's this subculture of people, mostly retired people, who were never able to save any kind of significant whatever for retirement, and so they have to live basically on Social Security.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have figured out that the best way to live on Social Security is to permanently live in an RV.
Oh yeah, that whole RV thing.
So there's this significant RV culture. There's a subgroup of them. Obviously, a lot of them are couples, but there's a heck of a lot more single women of age in Western societies now than there ever have been.
Does it make you want to do that?
Not really. And I have thought about, so there are people that are, the wealthier ones are permanently traveling. So they sold their homes and are going 2 months here, 2 months there, permanently traveling the world.
Wow.
This does not appeal to me.
Yeah.
You're
a homebody.
I got too much of a nesting desire.
Yeah. But they are this little community. And it reminds me we should have the executive director of Tilt, Eric Smith, my wonderful friend, on here sometime, because one thing he said to me is, sometimes I feel like I'm in a conversation where I feel like asking the people, if you landed on a planet where everyone behaved differently from you, how upset would you be? Or could you adapt to that culture? Mm-hmm. And how upset people get when someone doesn't believe or behave exactly in their very tight. It's become very tight.
Very tight.
This almost Victorian sort of
yes
rules about who you can be with and who you can't be with. And
yes.
People will call you a cuck if you're like this, or they will call you whatever.
Yes, right.
It's just it feels punishing, and it feels like it detrains us about how to be people.
I mean, yes, and it just you made me think of there's wars going on, big wars that 40 or 50 years ago would have just we
would have called it a world war.
Yeah, captivate. Just people would just be obsessed with it. That now you just don't even really pay attention to it anymore.
That's just what the military does.
What they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going, God, this is just, it's like, all the rules are, they're not really breaking, they're like collapsing, they're like disintegrating.
Well, I think a lot of it feels to me
because when a rule breaks, you feel the break.
Yeah, and
but when it just
when it disintegrates, it's like, oh, there was a pile of sand there, and now it's a little smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good description of it. I feel like a lot of it has to do with the lack of respect for life. I feel like
now, okay, how do you mean what? So first, what has to do with the lack of
the
respect
disintegration? The disintegration of the rules about we don't really, the wars don't really matter.
Yeah.
It's greed is okay, and those shareholder value, their shareholder value increasing is more important than people getting food.
Right.
Just like all of that feels to me like it's related to. And this is from a person, by the way, just to say, that's just a little weird tangent. I was raised in a family where I wasn't allowed to watch cartoons because they were too violent. So I never learned to laugh at people getting punched or falling off a cliff or whatever.
I love gentle slapstick.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker.
Brooks does too.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, I'm a sucker for gentle
I was never allowed to watch that
slapstick.
stuff. So
yeah.
I was raised in this incredible peacenik home where it's like, ooh, no violence at all is
right.
okay. Except for, the periodic abuse. But
yeah.
But anyway, on the TV, that's a problem. And so I think I come and then I can't watch movies that are really violent. Like I get shaky and I start crying and it freaks me out.
I don't like to watch violent movies, and so I choose not to.
But I feel like it's immersed in the culture, and they get more and more violent.
Yeah.
It's like pornography.
It's
like pornography,
yes.
which gets more and more violent because it's trying to arouse you, and it's addictive, so it's arousing you more and more. So it's just playing with your brain.
Right.
So I think that all of that stuff has gotten people addicted to sensation and to
yes, and to being constantly entertained, which
yes.
somehow connects to all of this.
Yes.
I don't know.
So nothing's mattered for very long.
I don't know if it's a cause or it's an effect or it's some other type of variable, but invariably when I meet someone that I haven't met for a while, even if they're really a person of the mind and a thoughtful person, they will almost always go, you watched anything good recently? And I always go, answer now, I'm not a watcher. I just started answering. I'm sorry, I'm not a watcher. And I mean, I obviously watch some things.
You watch YouTube videos.
I watch, I'm, it's kind of like, justification, but I do feel like I'm like being an anthropologist when I'm watching those YouTube videos.
These are actual YouTube creators out there who
yes,
have millions of dollars behind them, probably.
And I'm going, wow, what are they doing? Why are, there's this one woman I started watching, and I sent her to a friend, and she's in her 60s. There's a whole genre of senior citizens sharing with other senior citizens their tips for being happy senior citizens. So this one woman who's very opinionated and incredibly sure of herself, so she cracks me up. and I think maybe she kind of knows that she's being silly.
Of course.
Yeah, but
of course.
So she was talking about how she makes a go of her life and she's comfortable, I think, and everything. And so she spent 20 minutes sharing her recipe for 4 canned chili. She uses 4 cans. 1 can of meat chili, 1 can of chili beans, 1 can of pinto beans, and 1 can of Rotel tomato and chilies.
Yeah.
She mixes them all together and she goes, and I get 4 meals out of that. And I'm like, I'm watching this and I'm going, like, what is really going on?
Yeah. It's connection.
What is really going on?
It's what we used to do and get together with our neighbors and just talk about whatever's in our heads. I mean, what's going on is like we're desperate for connection.
Yes.
And so we've retrained ourselves to seek attention through likes or through approval of others we don't even know. And then we miss out on our neighbors. You know, our neighborhood is going to have a National Night Out event in early August. I think it's like August 6th or something.
Nice.
Yeah. And we have a neighborhood sort of chat. And I just moved into the neighborhood, but I'm like, there's like, can anyone help plan? And I was like, yes. And they were saying like, we have to plan activities that, motivate the young people to get off their phones and talk to each other. Like, what can we do?
Right.
Like, that's the big brainstorm. Is like, we're for the young people who haven't gone through a period in their lives without phones. How do we help them do that just for like 2 hours?
What a weird what a weird place we've ended up in.
It's very weird.
It's super weird.
Well, what can we do? I mean, so then I ask always like, okay, what can we do to change it? And that brings us to, I have to tell you about 2 books I'm reading.
Okay, good.
Okay. Let's see. This one I've just started.
Truth
Medicine. By my wonderful friend Michael Roshan Sapiro.
Okay.
He's a clinical psychologist who's worked with us at my nonprofit, and it's about.
May I?
Yeah, it's sort of about psychedelic medicine, but it's really about transformation, whatever it takes to help people get into the awareness that they have a spiritual self and that their bodies matter and their lives matter and there's meaning everywhere. And he's worked with like special forces and stuff. Anyway, I'm just starting it. It's beautiful. And so I'm just going to say, he says these things that sound radical, but they're so, I mean, they would have been true. You could have read this in a psychology book 100 years ago, but somehow now they seem more radical. He says, here's the basic truths. Accepting and loving yourself unconditionally ensures that, for the most part, you will naturally take good care of yourself instead of choosing harmful habits and destructive behaviors. 2, a life of authenticity and alignment is possible when you speak and live your truth. And 3, the wisdom you need is within you now, and feel your body and listen to your heart when making decisions and choosing actions. Your body and heart already know what is good for you and what is not. Living embodied is living fully. I mean, this is not radical revolutionary stuff.
Yeah, but I think in particular that last point is key.
Yes.
That living with our bodies and in our bodies is huge.
Yes.
I played pickleball this morning.
Yes, so you can really speak to this.
I am very happy.
And I did my African dance.
Yeah, and whenever I can like get, a good hour and a half of pickleball in on a kind of hot, sweaty day, I'm happy.
And you're righteous.
Because I've been in my body.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not,
great.
Clearly I'm not the most athletic person, but I try hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did my African dance, which always makes me feel good. And then when they started, the African dance teachers on Kukua, they always say like, okay, get your energy, get your water, and let's, get in a good mood. And it does. It lifts your spirit.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, embodiment and looking at a phone. So actually, your temperature drops.
Really?
Yeah, when you're absorbed in something else, like in a screen in front of you. Whereas when you're talking to another person and embodied, it doesn't drop. It's like when you kind of leave your body, it's like your body's like, all right, I guess you don't really need me right now. And so, there's a whole generation of young people, the Gen Z folks and also millennials, who like, especially with COVID, just didn't start having sex and I mean, aren't being with each other physically.
Right.
Although they're starting to more. But it's anyway. Okay, so this other book.
Radical Love.
Radical Love, recommended to me by a friend, Satish Kumar. From separation to connection with the earth, each other, and ourselves. And he just speaks to all of the things we were just talking about. But this poem, there's a chapter called Action, and it's about love in action. He says, love is the way messengers from the mystery tell us things. Love is the mother. We are her children. She shines inside us, visible, invisible, as we trust or lose trust, or feel it to start to grow again. That's actually a Rumi quote, but that he picked it, I love. So I feel like we're moving into a phase where the only thing that can save us is awareness of these basic truths. That we are, like, whatever, if you think this is a simulation, fine. If you want to do your video games, fine. If you want to do social media, fine. And you're going to find out that your body matters.
Yes.
You're going to, I mean, you just met my husband. He's going through cancer treatment, right? Your body matters. You're going to find out that love matters, or you're not. And,
Right.
And if you don't,
Right.
like, that's how I want to, like, help.
Yeah, I went to a cabaret Tuesday night. It was called Yacht Rock.
What is that?
Yacht, Y-A-C-H-T.
Yacht rock.
Yeah, I don't even know. My ear, I mean, I was going, yacht? Yacht? Was that
Is that
better?
when you're making it in German? Yacht.
I don't know.
You don't pronounce the CH. Yacht.
You don't?
No, unless you're German.
That's right. I'm not trying to pronounce it.
Yacht.
Yacht.
Think of it as Y-O-T.
Yes, Yacht Rock.
Like sailing on a yacht.
So it was a great, one of the,
Christopher Cross.
Yeah, they did Christopher Cross. So they did, it was a great show, and some of the, great local talent in this area performed. And I didn't realize until it happened that one of my all-time favorite songs was going to be part of this cabaret. And it's this song called What You Won't Do for Love. And it's a beautiful song. I'm not going to try to sing it. It was beautifully performed. It's always been one of my most favorite songs. It came as such a surprise to me that it was included that I got tears in my eyes because I love this song. And, we'll have to add it to the playlist.
Yes.
But but it's not danceable. What You Won't Do for Love.
She's trying to fend me off from the suggestion.
No. But anyway, like.
But it's true.
But you're in your body when you do that.
Yeah.
You're swaying. You're reacting. It's affecting your heart rate.
Live music.
Yes,
Live
exactly.
music. Yeah.
So,
yes. If you're really with the live music, you can't really be in your head or floating around on social media. You're there in the room. Yeah. And what you won't do for love, it sounds to me like it's a universal statement about, like, the answer is nothing. I mean, like,
yeah, exactly. Love is
the
what
deal.
you, yes.
Yeah.
Make me, and I think the refrain is, my friends wonder what is wrong with me, but I'm in the spell of your love, you see. I came back to let you know, what I did for love that I wouldn't do. Something like that. So it's this whole idea that what you will do for love will surprise you.
Yeah.
It'll exceed what
Yes.
what your rational mind.
Yes.
Right.
Your rational mind is not in charge of that.
Yeah.
That brings us to hope, I think.
Okay.
I think that's where hope comes in. When we're in this era where everything's met and nothing matters, and you're entertained by this greater and greater arousal to the point where nothing matters.
Exactly.
Then what can help is this experience of your non-rational mind going, wait a minute, like turning you towards love. Like there is, like Gen Z is starting to spend more time in person with each other. There's more club membership.
Good.
There's more willingness to just go out and be with each other.
Good.
So it's the non-rational mind just saying, like, we'll be doing this now.
Yes.
Because there's some healthy little seed in there that says there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And so I think it always goes back to the economics thing, this idea of these behavioral nudges that are going to nudge people to do the thing that we think is right for them.
Right.
What really works best is to notice that the body and the heart and the soul, or whatever you want to call it, has their way of coming around to well-being.
Right.
And just nurturing that. But I think it also helps to try to help people not be so addicted.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. But if that's the only place you're getting love, then
Yeah.
like Freud said, all that matters. What brings meaning is love and work.
Right.
And if your work is being displaced
Is work
by
the
AI,
right word?
Yeah, he said Freud, love and work. If you have meaning, if you have love and work, then you have meaning. And so if an AI's taken your job and
Yes.
you're lonely and you don't have love, like there's going to be a lot of people who feel they don't have meaning and that life doesn't have meaning. But what that requires is waking up to the body saying, you know what, I really don't want to sit at home another night. Like
Yes,
I'm going to
right.
go to a class
Right.
or something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's not easy
yeah,
because you could be physiologically depressed or whatever,
right.
but you have to get it figured out. We're here for you.
Yes, yes.
And ourselves, right?
Yeah,
You got yourself over here.
I did.
But
I
you're
did.
you're not prone to depression.
No, I'm not. But I did go through a period, probably in my 30s, I think, where I was more prone to depression. But then I just worked my way out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been prone to depression either, but I do think it's harder when you're a woman and you have those hormones going through you that kind of support depression.
They do?
Well, I mean, women tend to be happier postmenopausally. I kind of assume that's because those.
Oh, I think that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that is true.
I think the hormones are hard to deal with.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, we feel you all premenopausal women.
absolutely.
Well, cool.
Well, I think we've reached the point of not conclusion, but we've reached the point of to be continued,
Yes.
right?
Always. I mean, I really, we sort of talked about doing this thing where every season,
Every quarter.
every quarter we do like just you and me talking
Yeah.
about stuff. And we did one in the spring.
I like
in
doing
the
that,
winter.
yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah.
So we'll do another one in the fall.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll be back to our regular schedule probably pretty soon.
Pretty soon. I hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun. Bye.
Bye.